Good afternoon. So it's Yorkshire Historical Group. This is John, founder of it. Just thought I'd have a little walk around Wakey, have my hours exercise, government's permission, just want to show you around old Wakey for a bit, like while I'm out. Just going to take you through around a few sites and try to explain best I can a little about history at place. So, right, this is where we are. I'm on Teal Street here. The famous old Teal Street. I was born on the street back in '67. And a lot of you remember that site, won't you? We used to be Wakefield Market there. Right where H&M's are, that were Wakefield Market entrance. And there were joke shop next door. Wakey house is stood behind it. It's still standing. That was built in the 70s, I think. Early 70s, I don't know. Aye, Teal Street, one of the oldest streets in Wakey. Long before Springs, that was just one road. All this were blocked off at one time. Boots Chemist, Wakefield, used to be in Moot Hall. That's where the original Moot Hall stood, what dished out punishment to people in Wakefield for petty crimes. Long before they built the one on Wood Street and the courts of justice up at Wood Street, this is where Moot Hall stood, on site of Boots. And that's where the where justice were handed out in Wakefield. Used to send them to York to be hanged, and also it's not just petty crimes, there were serious crimes as well. Right, so I'm going to take you for a little walk. This is Cathedral, folks. There's Wakey Cathedral for you. I'm going to show you that round here. Let's go for a walk. Right, hi Julie. So I'm just taking my hour's walk, having a little walk up here like. Now, would you believe it, right? This precinct, all this precinct, what you see here, right back in cholera, days at cholera in 1700s, early 1700s, it were all the churchyard, all of it. No buildings or none of this. None of those buildings where that white van is. All of it was just it were a graveyard basically, and they buried all Black Death folk in here in cholera. So I'm walking on graves. So there we go, folks. If you've not seen Cathedral for a while, because of isolation, I just wanted to share it with you. And pigeons, Wakey's famous pigeons, are taking a chance here, like, with peregrine falcon up there watching them, like, them peregrines will have them. They don't get many pigeons in Wakey now, because them peregrines up there, fastest animal on planet, lives at top of that tower. And if you go on YouTube and tap in Wakefield peregrine falcon camera, you can watch them 24/7. So yeah, all of it were all a graveyard back in early 1700s. Original wall at Cathedral here, like. Very old. Very old. Something's been stolen out of there, or it's fallen off. Looks like Trinity sign, I don't know. but it's fallen off wall anyway. I wonder when that happened. I wonder if any of you've ever noticed that before when you've been round Wakey. I spot everything, me. I'm like a hawk. Right, guys. So there told we're in, oh no, George Hotel. George Hotel, yeah. The George Hotel stood there. Right on Southgate. Right on the corner of Southgate. Look on group right, guys. You'll find it, George Hotel, Wakefield, and you'll see this location is where it stood. Long before these, before HMV, before Waterstones, and long before. Phil, now this side, God, I'm just trying to make that top of my memory like. And then Southgate, that led all the way down to George Street, long before Ridings. That was Southgate, one of the main gates to Wakefield. On most of the gates stood chantry chapels. St John's Chantry Chapel at Northgate. Then we have St Mary's Chantry Chapel on Kirkgate. And then we had St Magdalene's Chapel, and that stood on bottom of West. Three main gates out of Wakey, and then the other one stood up top of Stanley Ferry, which was St Swithin's. When Wakefield had 4 chantry chapels, we only one left. The area where the St John's Chapel stood is where the kitchen area is at Quegg's School now. The kitchen, and I've got some really good description on them chapels in my book, Walker Book. I like Walker Book, me. He's a bit fantasy though, you know. He seems to think Wakey was just a beautiful place, but it were bloody not. Wakey were an horrible place. Horrible, dirty, dusty, stunk. You know, Walker tends to fantasise and make it out like we were like a Garden of Eden or something. Right, I'm going to show you around the other side now. There's a picture on historical group, guys, right, showing this area where I'm stood now, and there's a funeral procession coming down the road. For somebody very important, obviously. Big black hearse and that, and osses like, all dressed up, you know, for occasion. Right here, guys, where I'm stood. And when I edit this video down later, all the places what I'm mentioning, right, I'm going to insert a photograph into this part of the video, you know what I mean? So you'll all get to see what I'm on about. And there, this is Cross Square. Now there's a famous picture we've got. Hey up Keener! Hey up Deb! John Boy's bored, out and about. So right guys, here right is Cross Square, and there's a famous picture what I'm going to show you when I get this video home and edit it all down and put all pictures of what I'm on about. Where I'm stood here, right, that's where there's a policeman dressed in a raincoat guiding traffic up and down. 1926 I think it was. Very interesting picture. Yeah, and he's just guiding copper stud here, right where I'm stood now, 1926 copper, and he's just guiding traffic up and down here, up and down Cross Square. Ah, it's a great picture. Wait till I show you. And then we've got Clothing Hall, the Grand Clothing Hall of Wakefield town. Sold that's Italian architecture, if you didn't know that. Very, very nice, very nice. But forgotten about now. Nobody ever looks up anymore. I like to look up me. I like to see it all. Look at that. Italian architecture, guys, in Wakefield. Wakefield was a very prosperous city. The most prosperous city in West Riding. We were king at Riding. Just like to show you folks. Give you a zoom in on that balcony. All Italian, guys, Italian. That wouldn't look out of place in Vatican, that. That wouldn't look out of place in Rome, would it? Cheers for likes. Right back down Cross Square. Black Rock, Sean. My mate Sean's Black Rock at end of the light. And the picture I posted earlier, where that bloke's walking down now, that's where us and Cart were outside. The grand old cathedral standing high, 264 foot high, tallest spire in Yorkshire with that. So if I can just kill an hour for you folks at home, and if you're bored and you're fed up with being sat in the bloody house like I am, then that's all good, innit? If I can kill an hour for you. Right, I'm going to tell you a little story now. Betty Tyndall. Betty Tyndall were a landlady back in 1846, I think it was, and she ran a pub called Ring of Bells. Now you see where Hayes Travel is, don't you? End of Bread Street. She rang that used to be a pub that called Ring of Bells. I've got a picture of that as well. I'll be posting that in this video. Well, that were called Ring of Bells. And one night, one wintry night, right, she come running out at pub, and she ran over here to well. There used to be a well here. There used to be a well. Now, whether this is it is debatable. Whether it is, I don't know. I can't say for sure. Right, but this is where well stood in this area. Now, what happened was, told Betty Tyndall, middle-aged woman, she come running over here where I'm sat now, and she tried to break up the fight with these drunks. These drunks outside were fighting like, and she went to break up the fight and she fell down well, and she drowned in well. There went a bit of no inquest, they just fished her out at well. Case closed. Well, were all filled in. That would end of Betty Tyndall's life. So back in 1700s, right, This was Black Death burial ground. I'm going to show you it now. They stuffed him at back of Cathedral out of way. You know, old Black Death. Cholera were on precinct. But down here, this is where Black Death was. They buried them all here, look. They wanted Ginnell. There never used to be a passageway. And they buried them all here. Imagine that. Bodies crammed together, thrown in a pit. They threw them all in a pit, covered them in linen, and put a bit of lime on them, like, to stop the smell. And that were the end of their lives. But then along came Progress, like, and Blackrock. Raven. They then built the Raven. They dug up all the bodies and they took them over the road to a burial ground, one of 4 burial grounds in Wakefield, which were called Vickers Croft. That held 2,500 bodies, did Vickers Croft. So did the other 3. The other 3 were on Westgate, where the train station stands today. The old train station stands. The other one, the third one, were at Love Lane, at side at Wakey Prison, where prison officers' training grounds are. That were other burial ground. And 4th burial ground were where Warburton stood, at bottom of Westgate End. That were 4th burial ground. About 10,000. It eased a lot of congestion on Cathedral, like, because Cathedral were just chock-a-block with bodies. And we think we're bad. 40,000 in Wakey alone. So walking through a famous old archway at Wakey. Just past Raven now. Back onto the Springs. That's Toll Tunnel Light. Yeah, at Raven up. Mammy Claire's Raven. Done a ghost investigation in there. We had a fantastic night in there, ghost investigating, folks. They're amazing. Because that's what else I do, like, apart from history. I do paranormal as well. Don't I, Julia? We had some good results with paranormal. It's a great, it's a very haunted place in Wakefield. And then over the road, I can still visualise Market Hall right on side me. I can still see Wakey Market there. I can still see it now on Tollbrook Street. Oh, I can just see the bloody thing, and I can see Fish Market and all where Chinese buffet is. I can still visualise it, guys. I don't know about you. Happy days. It's funny, isn't it, right? They progressed all this side. They put all new buildings up here, like, and they left all that. They haven't touched the other side. The other side's still standing and original, you know. I don't know if you ever noticed that, guys, but this side of Brook Street is all original, still original buildings. Look at them old buildings up there with old curtains. Let me show you this. Because nobody looks up when they come around Wakey. Nobody looks up, right? And it's still as old as ever when you look properly. Now I'm going to show you a glimpse back in time, folks. Toll paintwork, toll sash windows, original paintwork and original curtains by the look of it. I bet that window can tell a few stories, eh? I bet it bloody can as well. Well, then nets could do with a wish. So anyway, guys, no, what I want to say, right, is next time you're in Wakey, have a look round, look up. It's all there, folks. It's all still there if you look up. Never went away. Wakefield didn't change. We changed. We stopped looking. We stopped trying to find. We just thought it had all gone wrong. Then at the end of the day, it's told Fleece Pub. I'll show you Fleece. What used to be Fleece told Tetley Pub like. Just talking to one of the occupants of that, Lee Colligan, on old photos of Wakey. He was telling me he lived there. I remember a story in there. Me and Neil Parkinson went in there one Christmas 1986, and Christ, I'd only just started drinking then, like. I was 18, just going on 19. No, I was 19 actually, yeah. And yeah, fucking hell, talk about Tetley beer. I'd never even touched Tetley beer in my life, me. But geez, did I wobble home that day. Wobbled home to have Westgate with kebab. That's it. There we go, guys. Fleece. Tell Fleece Pub. So while I'm here, folks, right, I'm just going to tell you, I've got a book out, me. And if you haven't got it, you need to go on Amazon and buy it. Flange Your Tale. I've got a page promoting it as well, because I'm a self-publiciser. Nobody's here to do it for me, like. I ain't got a publicist, you know. I'm not that good. So I just have to publicise it myself. And then we've got Queen Elizabeth, not Queen Elizabeth, this was Cathedral School at one time. That was Cathedral School. That were built, right, they built this. There used to be a school on Westgate. There used to be a school on Westgate, right, where, over the road from Elephant and Castle, where old car park used to be, right, there have put a school there called Greencoats. And it was an experiment, it was, with the do-gooders, sorry, the well-off gentry like in Wakefield. I think Mr. Milne, he had a mansion over at the road from the train station, next to, just down by Elephant. I think he put some money into it, like. So the experiment was to see if we could educate working class kids. And they picked them like a lottery, like a random win. If you won, you got a place at Greencoat. And I've got some pictures of the old Greencoat school. Right? So now I'm walking past Fish Market. This is waking no more. This is waking no more, is it? They rip the soul out of it. It's still Wakefield. I'm still proud of my city, me. So walking down Teal Street now, on the street I used to live, like. I used to live here, me. Back in '67, with Summer of Love. Moved all over when we were younger. I'm going to show you where else I lived as well. I'm going to show you somewhere else where I lived. We lived right, our house stood pretty much on top of, at Teal Street I mean, it stood on pretty much where, you know, the kiddies roundabout, and swings and arcade and arc. That's where our house used to stand. Wakey, only in Wakey. Now here's a story. My brother, right, he's a year older than me, right? We used to live there. I'm going to show you something now. A little tale about how he got his name as well. Michael, my brother Michael. We lived up there after we left Teal Street. Right up there. And Brunny Hotel stood there. That was Brunswick Hotel. And on a Saturday night, a man used to come out at Brunny Hotel. He was town's drunk, you know. Everyone's got a town's drunk, haven't they? Well, this bloke were our town's drunk. And he were really popular, like, around Wakey. But he used to sing Michael Row the Boat Ashore. He used to sing it every Saturday night, coming out to the pub, Michael Row the Boat Ashore. He used to sing that. So, me nan, in her wisdom, she named my brother Mick after him coming out to the pub singing. Aye. Happy days, guys. So this is Vickers Croft burial ground. What you're looking at here, all this area, all of it was Vickers Croft. Knocked down in December 54, built in 1740 something or other. Where you see Mason Hall there, that's a famous Mason Hall. Before Mason Hall were built, it was called Rectory Mansions, the Rectory Mansion, and its gardens stretched right back to Jacobs Well Lane. Up on East Moor, and the only thing original left from that Rectory Mansion is the staircase, because I had a chat with Mason, and told Mason said to me, "Aye, lad, we built our church around the staircase, so in that door is the Rectory Mansion staircase, and I want to see it." But you know what Masons are like, you know what I mean? So down here, right, is the old Vickers Croft. Now it doesn't look very much to just look at that, like it's just a, you know, modernish sort of like 60s architecture. But the wall is still there. The wall, the separating wall of the Vickers Croft burial, where that magpie is there, just gone. Where this wall is, this behind that wall used to be the bowling green. Right behind that wall. I have a picture of that I'm going to post as well. There was bowling green at the back of there. And all this area were graves, all of it. All of it were graves, Julia. All of it. Everywhere you look, you see it all wall there. That's where Oss and Cart come down with dead bodies and dumped them in burial pit. Because they had a burial pit here, unfortunately, for children mainly. Off East Moor, cholera outbreak, 1700s, like. They brought all children who died on East Moor, and they brought them to this burial ground. They used to put them on the back of an Oss and Cart, you know, bring out your dead, what you see on Monty Python, like. And they brought them here, and unceremoniously they used to bury them, right, at midnight, always midnight, when everybody had gone to bed, so nobody could see the sight, the sad sight. It must have been a horrible sight. And they didn't give them a formal burial. They basically just put them all in a big hole, covered them in linen and lime to stop them smelling, and then just like shoved earth over the top of them like, and forgot about them. Now the sad thing about it is, that is sad enough, but they buried them in unconsecrated ground. Vickers Croft didn't get consecrated until 1800s. Nearly 100 years after it was built, they finally blessed the ground. But that was too late. That was too late. So all them poor kids got buried with the mums and the dads. And they got buried up here. I'll show you where to pick one. Just beyond that blue car there, just beyond that blue Beamer, is where burial pit used to be. And they used to fetch them down Wrengate, or we call it Warrengate today, but it used to be called Wrengate because East Moor were full of rabbits. East Moor had loads of rabbits. That's where we get Warrengate from, because it was gate at Warrens, gate at rabbits. Yes, interesting places, Wakefield, when you sit down with your book and have a read. But you can still see wall, guys. I'm going to show you really close up, you know. This is the old Vickers Croft wall. Still there, folks. Still there after nearly 300 years. Original pointing in places. Yes, so I hope you enjoyed my little walk around Wakefield, because I enjoy it, you know. I enjoy to come out and tell you stories of just what I know, you know. I mean, I know probably about 1% of history of Wakey. If 1%, or not even 1%. So I'm just going to show you now. That's where the pit was. So burial pit were about here. That's where all kids were buried here, like. I have a picture of this very same spot. This spot here, where them windows are there. When the JCB diggers come in and dug it all up and built the springs as we know them today. All this area, guys, were dead bodies. All of it. All of it. All of it. When there were no walls, it was just open space with a field. Just a big field it was. And the graves in here weren't like your traditional churchyard graves. There were a lot of rich people buried here as well. There were rich people buried, wine merchants, cloth merchants, coal merchants, you name it, they're all buried here. Rich or poor, Vickers Croft didn't have any favourites. All of it. Then there's Toll Bookstore. I'm going to show you Wakefield's oldest building in a minute. The oldest building in Wakefield. But to look at it, right, you won't think it was. But I'm going to show you. Look, I'm going to show you some of what I found. Because I don't miss a trick. Me, I look for everything. I'm like a hawk. Like I said earlier, I'm like a hawk. I find everything. Me. I'm going to show you a Masonic symbol up there. Do, 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 do. Big Brother is watching us. Well, that's the Masonic Hall of Wakefield town. Imagine, guys, a rectory mansion stood here. The rectory mansion. Wow, I can't even bloody talk in this mask, you know. I sound like I've got coronavirus. I've got corona. Alright, guys, I swear. I'm not kidding you, man. I can't bloody breathe in it. This is Old Bookstore. It's Old Bookstore. Oh, I swear that. I'm gonna die if I don't die of freaking corona, me, right? I'm gonna die of chuffing suffocation in this bleeding mask. Right, 1346 I think they built this, right? Just 6 years after Chantry Chapel were built on Bridge, you know, St Mary's. They built the original rectory, oh sorry, no, it's not called that. It was called the Old Vicarage. The Old Vicarage. And it's old Tory, well, it's Tory Club, like. It's Tory Club. Right, it don't look old. It don't look very old. It don't look very old. But this is the oldest building in Wakefield. The oldest. Not that one next to it. That next to it were built later, a lot later. Everybody thinks that one was oldest building there, stood there at Buckstone, but it is not the oldest one in Wakefield, guys. This is the oldest one. This one. Can you see the stone at the bottom of there? And that goes right round here. Look. That's the old stone, guys. That's the original stone. Can you all see that? That's the original stone, guys. 1300s. 14th century brickwork, that. So yeah, if you've learnt anything today, guys, that you know, I take something from that, like, oh, there's Toll Gas and Lighting Company as well, with its original gas lamp as well. That's the original gas lamp, guys, what used to be around Wakefield. Streets were full of them. Streets were full of them in Wakey. That building were responsible for Wakefield's power. There's no picture I haven't got. None. So, heading on back to Kirgit now. Then we've got the old, now this rate, you know, we all know it's, but before Star Pub it were a hotel. The Star, I don't know if it was Star Hotel, but before the Star Pub, all this were a hotel. Away. I'll show you out front of it. This is Warren Gate, guys. This is a picture what I shared of it earlier. JPS guns and that, where that fat kid stood there, like. JPS guns. JPS guns. Ah, it's an old building, this one. Gaslight across the rainbow, that's the one, Mohammed. Now then, this is a hotel. Grand Hotel. In Wakefield town. You can tell, don't the windows give it away, guys? Long before Star Pub, long before Star Pub. Then we go further down, like, where you see Rainbow. Told Rainbow Pub here. One night at Rectory Mansion, over at Rough and Vickers Croft, young lady were looking after the mansion. She looked out of a window and she saw two grave robbers robbing a wine merchant's grave. So they took off running because coppers come like, and they chased them down Warrengate, they chased them down Wrengate, and they copped them here, right at Rainbow. But it wasn't called Rainbow then, it was called Sun Inn. They called it the Sun Inn. Long before Rainbow. Long before a Rainbow, guys. This was Sun Inn. And there's a picture of that group as well, if you look for it. Yeah, and they caught them here. And they sent them both to hard labour in Leeds for like 3 months hard labour. Both of them got hard labour. They found a spade, a wrench, and a piece of rope on them. And they weren't poor, they were barristers. Get that around your head. They were barristers robbing graves. Get that one round your heads. Never mind hammer films, what showed poor folk nicking bodies. It wasn't rich folk nicking bodies for the rich doctors. And then told Sun Lane Bass like, do I sound like Darth Vader, Sue? Susan, 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 may the Force be with you. Right, get ready for something now. A bit more modern history for you now. Okay guys, close your eyes. Think of John Travolta. Think of 1978. And think of the ABC, the famous picture on Group Wall where everybody stood here waiting to go in to see John Travolta. I want to go see Olivia Newton-John, me like. I wasn't interested in him. All lasses like, oh, John Travolta, and all lads are like, oh, man, Olivia Newton-John's alright, isn't she, like? Oh man, Olivia Newton-John, oh look how gorgeous she is, man. She's got a tan and everything. Wakefield don't have tans. In the words of Fred Dimner, do you like that? They were days. They were days. 78 and Alan's Chemist on the road with big clock. I'm sure they strategically put that clock right there, right? So everybody waiting to go in to watch a film, it'd feel like bloody hours. And boy did it feel like days waiting to go in to watch Grease, you know. So Regal Bookshop, guys, Regal Bookshop. I don't remember it, me. I don't remember Regal Bookshop. That were probably called that when it was called Regal, I don't know, or whether they called it Regal Bookshop in memory at Regal, don't know. I'm my first noggin there, Wendy Earnshaw, 1976. Jesus Christ, that's going back some like that weren't cartoon Saturday it was. Then Alan's Chemist clock, it stood right there, waiting to watch a film, you know. Like, so an hour's wait felt like about 8 hours. ABC Miners, we all know that song, don't we?
Saturday, all right.
In the words of Fred Dimner, do you like that? And then we get here, don't we? And this is Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank, guys. And then my humble abode over the road. And right then, okay, first thing I'm going to say to you now, right? When I see that corner there, ooby-doo, ooby-doo. Have a gander, ooby-doo. Have a gander. Stood right there where Yorkshire Linen is. And Asda at top end with escalator. At Ridings, 1985 they finished that. I think it was 85, yep, I think it was. I used to come home from Rawson's, walk past this every day coming home from work when they were building it, like. But they said they were going to build a dome over Wakey Express. I thought, but they never did. Anyway folks, I hope you enjoyed that little tour. I've done my hour's walk now, like. Done what Boris has told me to do. And I'm going to go back in now, chill out with a coffee, and edit this video down. Alright. So, yeah, cheers for watching everybody. In the words of Fred Dimner, do you like that?